This is Brendan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network, and welcome to another Lumen Stock Car Invitational race. We are in race number 5 of season number 4, and we're headed to our first road course race of the season at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And with this being the first road course race, last year it was Willow Springs, but the road courses got shuffled around a little bit. Last year at this track, we had quite an entertaining battle at the end between Cooper Spur and Laurie Jackson. This is the longest track on the schedule with a 3.4 miles in length. We still use the long layout, unlike the NASCAR Cup Series, which switched to a shorter layout this year. But we're keeping with the original layout here, and it's gonna be interesting to see them tackle this track. Obviously a large variety of corners as well, 20 of them in total. I am joining alongside me in the booth today for the very first time. It's John Andrews, and this is your hometown track. I know you're really excited to be co-comming this race. So tell me a little bit of what you expect to see in this race.
Well, howdy, Brandon. Here's what I expect: is differing pitch strategies, a lot of passing in this heavy braking zone, and trouble in any corner at any time, especially in those super sharp corners. Turn 1, turn 11, turn 12. A lot of cars go wide and spin out in that area. And of course, turn 20. See, those were a majority of passes will be happening. But one piece of advice: never go 3 wide on pit exit. That is a no.
Yeah, this is our second attempt recording this race. The first time actually the game crashed with 3 laps to go, so we are going to be saving the results every 5 laps. In the event that the game crashes again, we will go back to the last results that we saved, and that will be the final race results. So unfortunately, a little bit of technical difficulties with this track that we did not have last year, but that's just how it is. This game it's old enough to drink, so that's just how it is sometimes. But anyway, uh, going away from the technical difficulties and going towards the strategies. You mentioned a lot of differing pit strategies in this race. That is something we saw last year as well. What do you think the best strategy for these guys are, and do you think it changes based on where you start?
Yes, it does. If you start further in the pack, like a JB Chanot or a Vinny Schultz, you might want to undercut or short pit, as we like to call it here in motorsport. But if you're at the front, you obviously want to keep your track position because that's important as good
Definitely.
stops.
It definitely is. And we have an interesting starting lineup today as we see quite a few drivers that we're not used to seeing up here, mixed in with some that are. So let's go over your starting grid here today. In row number 1, we've got the 57. This is not Shauna Everett. This is Johnny Everhart, which you might remember from the Watkins Glen race last year. But that's the only other race that he's actually made. He is a British endurance racing driver, and in just his second start, they swapped him into the 57 because Shauna Everett was struggling so bad in that car that it was 36th in owner points. So they gave the full time driver Everett the 52 for this week. But evidently, putting the road course ringer in the 57 has reinvigorated this team, and they are now starting on pole here today. And it'll be really interesting to see what he does. Starting alongside him in row number 1 is the 85 of Charlie McCarron, who is either the points leader or second in points right now. I believe
Second,
I believe she is second behind the driver who's starting in third, the 18 of Zach Dearman. And alongside him is yet another road ringer. It's the 2 car of Peter Jansen, the Dutch racing driver. He's the first Dutch driver to make an LSCI start, and he's starting in the top 5, and that's a car that's been struggling in qualifying. That 2 car, they had a good run in the Clash, but every time they've had to qualify for a race, they've DNQ'd. But they put Jansen in the car to hopefully give them a spark, and it's proven to work, at least for now. It got them into the race. Speaking of getting into the race and other cars with qualifying issues, Rebecca Raymond with a top 10 qualifying run in the number 35. She's already DNQ'd 3 times this year, so this was a much needed break for that team. And alongside her is the 41 car of Karina Willis Calloway. Row number 4 is the 1 car of Kevin DuPont and the 66 of Tyler Landry. Then it's the 16 of Corbin Taps and the 24 of Cooper Spur, last year's winner of this race. Another road course ringer, Takamoto Aya in the 5, and another one of our better road course drivers, although not necessarily a ringer because he is a full-time driver. It's the 40 car of Adrian Wheeler. We've got the 58 of Joanna Clark driving for Diamond Motorsports. Good qualifying run for her. Alongside her is the 79 of Kobe Hollenbeck, another one of our road course specialists. Then it's the 88 of Billy Smith and the 27 of Adrienne Fearson. The 42 of Kaleo Connie, another driver to watch out on the road courses. Quite a few of them starting up towards the front today. And alongside him is the 11 car of Tim Berry. Then it's the 52 of Shauna Everett, who we mentioned earlier, and the 77 of JT Boyd. You got the 50 of Jacob Lopez and the 33 car with yet another road course ringer, Wesley Shelton, running his first ever LSCI race in general. Hopping into that 33 car, he's an open wheel driver from Georgia, and he got this car, which is another car that was struggling for qualifying pace in its other start, or in its other attempt at Atlanta. It DNQ'd, but they got Wesley Shelton in the car, and they're hoping to have their regular driver, Cheryl Simmons, back for the Lumen 500 this year, as she is still recovering from an injury that she suffered in the season finale last year. Then we got the 19 of Jake Sidney and the 99 of Akiya Tajima, the 3 car of George Bryan and the 13 of Damon Kirby, the 29 of JB Chanot and the 9 of Laurie Jackson. John mentioned JB Chanot starting towards the back. She's one of the higher up drivers in points. She's going to need to make up a lot of spots in order to capitalize on that. Jack Gino, last week's winner, also starting pretty far back alongside the 92 of Kate Summers. Then we've got the 6 of Holly Martin and the 45 of, not Rebecca Raymond, James Harvin. Then it's the 70 of Andrew Kreider and the 8 of Darren Walker. And rounding out the field is the number 62 of Vinny Scholes. We had 4 DNQs from this race today. And as you can imagine, they were pretty big names. Laken Herndon, for the first time ever, is not going to be in the main event. Same with Ashley Blake in the 36, the 55 of Michael Harvin. And the other DNQ was the 65 of Tamarin Bellinger. So those are some pretty, for the most part, pretty big names that are going to be sitting on the sidelines for this one. And some names that we're hoping to try and get out of the lower parts of the points, but it's not going to help them here today. But we've got 35 cars racing here today. It'll be a 19-lap race, should be a 2-stopper, and strategies could be pretty spread out depending on how the race goes for these guys. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out.
Justin, Steve, and I'm very much looking forward to this race in Austin. The eyes of Texas and the eyes of the world are upon this track for 19 laps and some bona fide Texas action. Yeehaw!
Drivers, start your engines.
And the pace car will roll out of the stadium section. Not entirely sure which number corner this is. I'm sure John will know that a little better. But John, who do you think is going to win the race today?
Well, I have my sights set on the top 3 drivers today, but I would be a fool to count out Kevin DuPont in the number 1. He's our 2024 champion. He's an established racer, and he's got a lot to prove. Even in a lackluster start to the season, the pace car's gonna pull into pit road. The field's gonna come out of turn 20. We're ready to come loose for 19 laps here in Austin. Like I said, the eyes of Texas, eyes of the world are on this race right now.
Johnny Everhart and Charlie McCameron will lead them to the green flag, and we are racing here at COTA.
Here they come up the hill into turn number 1. Everhart with a slight advantage, 3 wide into turn 1. They
Oh, they
keep it
make
clean for
contact for the
now.
lead, and they're crashing in the back. They're stacking them up big time in turn number 1. Tajima sliding down the hill. Tim Berry's involved. They are
Yeah, that's
4
a bad.
wide right here.
Oh, get it out. Get it out of there.
The 33 of Wesley Shelton getting on the brakes there. That's a smart move to try and get out of the chaos, but the chaos isn't over. They're still all over the track right now.
There's
Oh,
Vinny
JB
Shelton
Chanel
in the
gets
wall.
turned and hard into the wall. The 29 and the 3. So lots of chaos on the opening laps here. Several cars getting turned around. And while all that happened, Charlie McCarron managed to take the lead away from Johnny Everhart. Oh my goodness, what a crazy start to this one. Kind of similar to what we saw last year, although this time, thankfully, nobody ended up on their lid.
Yeah. It's a good job that no one flipped over. Several safety aspects were added in, but oh, here we come. Here's the trouble spot.
Turn
Turn
12.
12.
We saw a lot of drivers go spinning in this corner last year. I think Everhart just pushed the 85 out of the way. They're going to be side by side here going through the stadium section of the track. Everhart on the outside. If he can keep it up there, he'll be in a pretty good spot for this next complex of corners. And he's
Yeah,
going
he
to run
has
the
the
85 off the
inside
track pretty
advantage.
much. And Everhart will keep the lead after all of that. We had 2 lead changes in the first lap.
Was an impressive move by 57, but McCarron not going to give up so easily as we head into 19. And turn 20, another point of interest alignment.
Yeah, they like to send it into turn 20 as well, although not as treacherous as some of the other tight corners. We still got to keep an eye out on it. Looks like these guys are going to keep it clean. And Johnny Everhart is going to lead lap number 1. Let's check on the back of the field to see who suffered the most from all those incidents. The 3, the 29 lost a lot of spots. The 62 has a bit of rear end damage. Thankfully, it is moderate damage here today. The only race on the schedule where we run that. So it should be easy to fix it, because if we didn't run moderate damage, they run into each other so much that half the field would be running without a hood at the end. Billy Smith and Adrian Pearson also seem to have some level of damage, so that could end up affecting them later. But back out front, Tyler Landry making some big moves. He just passed Zach Dearman for 3rd.
In
Corbin
an
Taps.
area where we don't see a lot of passes, the S is impressive.
Landry's a pretty good road racer. His one win before he won at Homestead a couple weeks ago was at Watkins Glen, where he led every lap. So, you know, he knows how to get it done on these kinds of racetracks, although Watkins Glen, a very different kind of road course than COTA. Corbin Taps up into the top 5. Peter Jansen slipped down to 6th, still running pretty good, though. Karina Willis-Callaway, Kevin DuPont, Rebecca Raymond, and Cooper Spur are going to round out the top 10 as they head into turn number 12. Everhart's trying to gap the 85 here. Landry's going to try and make a pass for 2nd, and it looks like he's going to make the pass here, potentially.
Oh,
but
but
McCarron's still fighting back.
Charlie has the inside advantage into the corners, but the 66 gets a better bite out of quarter exit there. He's going to take the position.
And the 66 car's looking really fast here off the start. He started in row number 3, and he's already made his way up to 2nd, now giving chase to the 57 of Johnny Everhart. This is not a car that you want to see in your mirror, that's for sure.
Just like Dale Earnhardt in the number 3 car.
Battle for 6th here. Peter Jansen trying to hold off the defending champion. How about that? And he's doing a good job of it so far, but... Ooh, Corbin Taps got a good run out of turn 20. He might also be able to pass the 18 of Zach Dearman, much like his teammate did. He's going to go for it in turn number 1.
Yep, he has the inside, and he's going to do it, but he's going to clear him heading into the S's. Great move.
He left a bit of a lane open for the 18, but the 18 was not able to take advantage of that, so... Corbin Taps moving up to 4th. The McPickey car is looking pretty good so far. Landry trying to dig into Johnny Everhart's lead. Kevin DuPont still trying to get by Jansen, but Jansen throws a block on him.
How about the Dutch? He's impressing in his very first start.
Still looking for... Oh, the 29 is coming into pit. The 3 is well off the pace, so it didn't seem like there was any other incidents. Of course, we don't have any cautions on road courses. And if there are any incidents, we will review them all at the end of the race. So, assuming the game doesn't crash and I lose the replay, but we're hoping that doesn't happen, so... 66 is getting very close to Everhart going into turn number 12. He's not going to make a move yet, but he might be just trying to put the pressure on the 57 here. Side by side here, Kevin DuPont and Karina Willis-Callaway. DuPont will hold on to the position for now.
Yeah, that's what's dangerous about turn 12. When someone's in your rearview mirror, you can't focus that much on your lead because you've got to play a bit of defense as well as try to look forward to what's on the track ahead of you, obviously, because you're in the lead trying to hold it. But also, you got to have that peripheral vision in order to master these twisty tracks.
The 66 is doing a good job keeping up with Everhart so far, has not made a move yet, but I feel like the move is coming because I think this car is faster than the 57. It's just going to be a matter of execution here for Tyler Landry, but Johnny Everhart doing a great job here today. This is only his second race that he's made, only his 4th attempt, and he's out here leading laps in a car that has been struggling all season. That 66 is closing in on him, though. I do want to mention, though, this is not the 57 team. This is still the 52 team from that has been impressing in the first few races. It's just that they've got a different number on the car, so... Now that I think about it, it would be pretty, it's not surprising that this dev car has been pretty quick, no matter who's been driving it, and, it's showing more of that today, but the 66 is just hounding that 57 car. I feel like it's only a matter of time before he gets past him.
I think it's going to be turn 11, if not turn 12, as here they come to this spot I mentioned. Turn 11's before the big downhill section. And turn 12, which is the trouble spot. Let's see if the 66 can up the pressure.
Landry did not get the greatest of rolls through that corner, so now he's going to have to try and draft down this long backstretch and try and make a move into turn 12. I'm not sure if he's close enough to make one right now. He's getting into the back of him a little bit. He sent him wide. Never mind. Instant announcer jinx. We are side by side for the lead. This is exactly how we got past McCarran.
Get a bit of a bite. 66 a bit wide there, and 66 couldn't make it stick. Oh, but he's not giving up.
Great defense by Everhart, but Landry is still on the attack. He did not let Landry do what he did to McCarran a couple laps ago. And this 57 car is putting up a big fight against one of the best drivers in the league. And they're kind of pulling away from third on back, but if they do get into a bit of a more fierce battle than this, then definitely look for McCarran and Taps to close in on them. As we are going to complete lap number 4, we're going to have our first export at the end of lap 5, and then we're going to keep doing that every 5 laps until either we finish the race or the game crashes. So
yes,
this race will be official. Unlike yesterday, which I'm still not fully recovered from. Oh, the 62's coming in and pitting. Potentially damage repair on that car, and it looks like that's what it's going to be. And they're going to send her back out there. But, yeah, that's a tough break for her. She already started in last, so she already didn't get that great of a draw there. Battle for 10th got pretty close there between the rookie Jake Sidney and the 24 of Cooper Spur. This is Jake Sidney's first Cup race on a road course. He's doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, as you mentioned, third place, Charlie McCarran. We like to call that in motorsports the catbirds, because if the front two make a mistake, third place is usually there to steal the win away.
Oh, I wouldn't say McCarran's sitting pretty good right now because the 16 is all over her back bumper. So we might have a pass for third here. In fact, Taps is going to go for the move going down the back straightaway. They're going to be side by side headed into the treacherous turn 12. Landry tried to line up for a bump in that corner. It didn't work. Taps, though, has the edge on the 85 of McCarron. McCarron's going to fight back, almost get into him on exit. So these two
Let's
going
see if she
side by
gets the bye
side.
into turn 13 and 14, and Team 16's making that bottom work, though.
It's a
She's
great
gonna...
acceleration from the 16 car. He's going to get the spot. Very well executed by Corbin Taps there, and now we'll see if he can close in on his teammate Tyler Landry and the 57 of Everhart. As we now go through turn number 20 once again, we're going to start seeing them pit within the next couple of laps for their first pit cycle, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Once the last car crosses the finish line here, we'll do our first export. Oh, someone's coming in early. Who is that? Kevin Dupont.
That's interesting. Lap 6. Pitting.
Dupont is trying an extreme undercut, and I'm not so sure about this strategy. Actually, that might be damage repair too, so I don't know what happened to Dupont. I didn't see any damage on his car, but evidently something happened to him, as a couple other cars also came in for damage repair, including the other Pacific Racing car, the 92 of Kate Summers. Just not been a good day for them. I didn't see Dupont get into any incidents. Maybe somebody ran into him, or he ran into somebody and it caused some damage, but either way, not ideal here.
They'll change up front as Johnny Everhart X. It's turn 13 to 14. Corbin Taps in third. How about the number 6?
Corbin Taps has gained on these two in front, so he might join this battle here soon. You probably saw a cut in the video. That was us trying to save the results, and then I realized I couldn't actually export mid-race, so we just took pictures of the current running order. So that's just how it's going to be if stuff happens. But we won't need to pause the race again that way, so I guess there's something good in it. Anyway, Kevin Dupont, who pitted early for potential damage repair, is now back to 28th, and that's definitely going to hurt his chances of winning the race. We'll see if anybody comes in this time by, but it looks like everyone's going to stay out. I'm expecting cars to come in next lap on lap number 7.
Indeed. Gotta get that fresh rubber and more fuel. 7 laps is the run. You could run more. 7 to 9 laps is a good range to pit by, especially with it being a rather short race of 19 laps, but still a long track.
Well, it's not many laps, but that doesn't mean the race isn't long. It's just the track is long. It takes over 2 minutes to turn a lap around here, but as you can see, the tire fall off is almost 2 seconds compared to their fastest lap times. So I can imagine those tires are pretty worn out, and these guys are going to have to pit here very shortly. But Johnny Everhart's been able to hold on to the lead, although he went a little bit wide in that corner. That could hurt him down the straightaway. And he's got 2 McPicky Motorsports cars trying to hunt him down here, the 66 of Tyler Landry and the 16 of Corbin Taps. This team's already won twice this season, going for win number 3. Landry's already won this season. He's trying to become the earliest driver to win multiple races in a season. Oh, Everhart just messed the corner up. There's a chance for Landry to fight back, but he still cannot get past this 57 car. But he doesn't have to pass the 57 on track. He might have a chance. He could pass him in the pits as well. That's something to keep in mind. We'll see what they do.
You never know what might happen on pit road. If it's in the hands of the pit crew, you gotta have a fast.
Also got to keep in mind, the pit road's pretty tight. It's not easy to get in and out of your pit stall. Also, the 57 of Everhart having... Oh my goodness, the 66 really messed up the corner there. Is he going to pit here? No. But Everhart is, so Landry's going to try an overcut on the 57 of Johnny Everhart. That means he will lead this next lap. And we got split decisions here. Some cars pitting. A lot of the leaders actually coming in here. instead of these guys in the back, like you suggested in the pre-race, John. So a bit of a reversal on the strategy that we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, and look at the number 2 of Peter.
Peter Jansen now in third. He will probably pit this next lap, but I tell you what, he's giving the 18 a hard time. This 18 car is trying to hold him off. He's doing a great job in the Martin Swain Race Team 2 car. A team that definitely needed a good run, and they're going to, if this holds up, they're going to get... How about this 33? Wesley Shelton is top 10 in the Double Eagle Racing car. This is an outstanding run for this driver. So you got to keep an eye on that car as well, because, I mean, Double Eagle Racing, they just continue to... Even with the ratings nerfing their cars significantly, they just continue to defy the odds and run good despite their low budget. Oh, Jansen went really wide in the corner there. That's going to give Zach Dearman some breathing room there. Let's also check on your cars that pitted, and Corbin Taps ended up ahead of the 57 of Johnny Everhart. So Taps right now is the guy that we're watching in terms of the cars that pitted. DuPont is ahead of him, but he did not take tires on his pit stop. I think it was just damage repair. So he's going to have to come in again. But DuPont is the highest running of the cars that have come into the pits, and Taps is the highest of those that took tires. So we'll have to see where Landry comes out relative to them.
Yes, indeed. And here he comes through the amphitheater section of turns 17 and 18. Turn 19's going to be a setup corner if you want to come into the pits. He's going to come in.
Landry's coming in, Dearman's coming in, Jansen's coming in. I'm expecting everybody else to come in here. And that seems to be what is happening here. So, again, we got to watch where the 16 and the 1 are compared to these guys. The 1 might actually come in and pit here, and you can just see the gap that Corbin Taps put on Johnny Everhart on that outlap. It was very strong. DuPont will actually stay out, so it looks like he's going to be the one trying to inherit the lead from Tyler Landry in the moment. Not the greatest pit entry for the 66. He's going to get towed. I think he and the 35 collided. The 66 entered his pit box funny, and that is going to be devastating for Tyler Landry, especially since this is the last track on the schedule where you want that to happen because of just how long it's going to take for him to get back out.
Tough break for the 66. He just took the lead.
That's something we're going to have a replay of, because that is a key turning point of the race. And now the current leader is Kevin DuPont. DuPont and Taps are first and second, and then Everhart's trying to hold off Zach Dearman and Peter Jansen for third. Charlie McCarron lost quite a few spots in the pits as well. And we mentioned how tight this pit lane is. And there you see it got Tyler Landry right there, and that is going to be a devastating blow for the 66. Corbin Taps just sailed it in the corner there. DuPont is holding on to the lead for now, despite being on very old tires. He might be trying to make it so that he can only pit one more time from here. So we'll see if he tries what is essentially, like, it's not a one stop, but like a one tire change stop to try and save some time here.
Yeah, but Corbin Taps, if he can make the pass, DuPont might have to come in and just surrender it.
And there you see the 66 still in the pits. It's going to take a long time for him to get back in. I believe he might have collided with the 35 of Rebecca Raymond, who was the car in front of him. But that's a gut punch for that team. I cannot believe that happened to him. DuPont's going to stay out one more lap as he continues to try and hold off Corbin Taps here, and he's doing a great job of doing that despite Corbin Taps having significantly fresher tires. Taps has just not found a way around him.
Yeah, we're already at 10 or 9 to go. But 16 still had it on the back bumper into turn 2, heading into the S's. I don't know if the one's got the stuff just yet. He needs to prove he can gab a bit as well as defend.
DuPont's doing a great job of defending right now, so he's doing what he needs to do at the current moment, so... But that 16 is absolutely hounding him. He's going all over his back bumper.
I think the move's going to come either in 11 or 12.
Oh, the
12,
16
watch here.
Might have messed up the corner there a little bit, and the 1 is going to pull ahead again.
There's something I didn't about those sharp turns is those are the easiest places to make the mistake, especially turn 12, which we're coming up onto.
Taps
16
is going to send it into
there.
the corner. He braked really late. He wasn't able to get to the back bumper of the 1, but he got very close to bumping him out of the way. And we see a lot of skid marks in that corner. We haven't caught it on camera yet, but we do have cars that slide through that corner and spin themselves. We'll see if that happens this time. It doesn't look like it's happened as much as it did in the last attempt, but they're all going to take it easy through that corner. Oh, George Bryan is coming in and pitting. I think that is more damage repair for that car. So, he was involved in the stuff on lap 1, so... A lot of fast drivers and cars not having the greatest of runs here today. This could be big for drivers like Zach Dearman to take advantage of that.
Yeah, he's running in 4th right now. And our pole sitter, Johnny Everhart, remains in 3rd. Dutchman Peter Jansen rounds out your top 5.
Karina Willis-Callaway and Charlie McCarron battling each other for 6th position. Both having pretty good runs here today, although I know Charlie McCarron is still very hungry for a win. But, she still is going to be within striking distance of the 18 in points if this result holds. So she can't be too upset about that. DuPont has been putting on a clinic in defensive driving right now. And this off strategy by DuPont might end up working out for him if he manages to pull this off. This would be an outstanding win for Kevin DuPont and a potentially season-saving win if he can pull this off.
Yeah, he sits about 24th in points, 23rd, a rather disappointing start for a defending champion. But as he mentioned, a win changes everything.
Definitely, and that win could really help that team try and rebound from what has been a difficult start to the season. He had absolutely no pace at all at Phoenix. The only race where he has had pace was at Homestead, where he managed to grab the lead away from Charlie McCarron. But after the caution happened, the car just completely fell off, and he didn't even get a top 20 out of it. I tell you what, this 57 is closing in on both of them. So
yeah,
we might have...
because they're battling so intensely, Brendan. It's allowing this 57 to reel him in. If this 16 and number 1 keep battling, don't count out the road ringer Everhart. And that's a rule on every road course. Never count out a road course ring.
DuPont's pitting now. This should be his final stop of the race. So that will hand the lead over to Corbin Taps. Johnny Everhart is right behind him now. McCarron is also pitting early. So this should be her final pit stop as well. So the Walker Brothers racing cars getting off sequence here, trying to get some track position here at the end of the race. We'll see if this ends up working out for them. But there's your top 2 now. It is now Taps and Everhart. Dearman is now 3rd. Jensen is 4th. Karina Willis-Callaway in 5th. Rebecca Raymond hanging on to that top 10. She's been top 10 all day. Jake Sidney, Joanna Clark looking for a top 10
We haven't talked about her all day. How about that?
We've mentioned her in passing, but she has not had any speed whatsoever for the Diamond Motorsports team. But This could be a great run for that team. This team is rebuilding. They got 2 rookies in their cars. One of them did not even make the race, so this could be a good run to salvage here. Kate Summers is also up here. I think she's on a similar strategy to Kevin DuPont, although she's staying out a little bit longer. But it's working out for her so far. She's also had basically 0 pace this season, down in 30th in points, but this top 10, if she's able to hold on to it, could save her.
Yes, indeed. A win could change your season, but top 10, not bad for your point situation, especially when you're trying to make a race.
Everhart staying within striking distance of Corbin Taps in the 16. And these two are about 3 seconds ahead of Zach Dearman here. He's just minding his own business right here. He's running his own race. His worst finish this year, I'm pretty sure, is 11th. And that's the reason why he's in the points lead. He's got a win. He's been very consistent here for Hudson Motorsports. And
If I may, I'm going to draw a comparison to 2003 Matt for Zach so far in this season. It's too early to judge, but if he keeps up the killer consistency, Zach Dearman is a big favorite for the Jimmy.
Yeah, Dearman he's had the points lead basically all season, but he's not had a very large points lead, but he's just been able to hold on to it. Let's go back and find where Charlie McCarron is, as well as Kevin DuPont. There's DuPont. He is in 29th right now. Tyler Landry has finally rejoined the track, and it looks like George Bryan in the 3 is actually behind him, 3 laps down. There might actually... Oh, he's actually coming out now. There might have been some sort of mechanical issue on that 3 car. Uh-oh, be careful. Do not run into guys as a lap car.
Yeah, there's... Too bad there's not blue flags to order drivers to slow down like in real life, but that was too close for comfort.
Taps is now pulling away from Everhart. But Everhart's still within a second, so this battle's definitely not over, and we still have to keep in mind the 1 car. One thing that the 1 car does have to his advantage, we got a couple of other cars coming in here, Laurie Jackson and the 29 of JB Chanot. We might start to see the leaders come in. I'd expect them to come in around lap 14. We might see some guys peel in on lap 13. But what I was going to say is the 1 car of Kevin DuPont has a clean racetrack right now. Not really many cars around him, unlike these leaders who have tons of cars around them. Really, the only car in front of him right now is the 27 of Adrian Frierson. And this also benefits Charlie McCarron, although McCarron is very far behind the 1 car of Kevin DuPont. I'm not sure what happened to her. Maybe she got into trouble in turn 12, but she has lost a lot of ground to that, so that could be bad news there for Charlie McCarron in terms of her chance of winning the race.
While Corbin Tass is going to enter 19, the setup corner, if you want to enter pit road, looks like he is.
And so is Everhart. How many other leaders will join them? It looks like all of them. Will we see anyone trying to overcut? Summers is now back on strategy because of being able to stay out there on the old tires longer, so that was a good move for her. George Bryan is multiple laps down, and it looks like Jacob Lopez and Tim Berry are going to try and overcut here.
How about that? We haven't talked about the 50 or the 11 all day here. Let's see where Kevin DuPont comes
Taps is already leaving his pit. But DuPont's going to end up in front of both of them, I'm pretty sure, going into turn 1, but it is going to be close. Taps will not be that far behind. We will have a battle here. Landry is 2 laps down. He is not relevant in this fight. Everhart got beat pretty significantly off of the pit lane there. And then it's going to be Dearman and the 2 car of Peter Jansen rounding out the top 5, it looks like, once it all cycles out. But we still have these 2 cars out here that have yet to pit.
Well, how about the number 50 of Jacob Lopez and the number 11 car for
Tim Berry.
get her of Tim Berry. We haven't talked much about them today, but here's a chance for them to run out front, get a shout out.
I wonder if they're rolling the dice on the game crashing. Maybe they know. But these guys are going to be the last two to come in. Everyone else should be able to make it from here. Kevin Dupont is your leader, but he's on significantly older tires than the 16 of Corbin Taps is, so we got to watch this battle. The 66 is also on newer tires, but he's not on the same lap as these guys. But you might imagine that he might try to help out his teammate in Corbin Taps, so got to keep that in mind, that is a possibility. That he could end up interfering with this lead battle. We saw Lap Car interfere with the lead battle last year, so it's definitely always possible.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna stay out an extra lap with about 4 laps to go.
Oh, Summers is back in the pits.
She has
something went wrong for the 92, and that is unfortunate for her. She had a good run going.
Yeah, tough break for the Pacific Racing car, but back out front, Lopez has seemed to open a bit of a gap.
We've got an interesting situation here. Obviously, the AI is not smart enough to know this, but because of the 50 and the 11 staying out so long, we're about to have our final export in case of a game crashing. The 50 is going to be scored as the leader over the 11 because of this once they all cycle through. And this could win them the race if things go wrong here. Obviously, we hope that's not how it goes and that we are able to get this thing finished, but you can't rule out that possibility because that's what happened yesterday. So this is a very interesting situation here because we're gonna have a bizarre running order if the game ends up crashing, but they stayed out just long enough for that to matter, so I imagine they're gonna come in next time by. But I tell you what, the one of Kevin Dupont has put on an absolute clinic despite the difference in tires. He's still been able to stay ahead of Corbin Taps.
I think he's just found the long run speed. That's just it. Maybe that's the secret to the one today.
Tyler Landry is now putting the pressure on his teammate despite being 2 laps behind. But it's honestly, if I'm Corbin Taps, I actually think I should let Landry pass me so that he can go up there and bug Kevin Dupont and maybe slow him up to try and help him. Lopez and Berry are still staying out, so these guys are on... They're trying to make it as long as they possibly can here.
Yeah, it's 4 to go. Chips are down. Let's see how long they can make it stretch for. But still, Kevin Dupont could close in with slightly newer tires to the front too.
Oh, somebody's pitting here. Vinny Scholes in the 62, who's running in 9th, is going to join her teammate in the pits to change tires. But we got focused on Lopez because these two are... I'm not sure what their strategy is now because it's not like there's cautions on here. They could catch a caution at the right time and end up leading. They're just trying to stretch their stuff until the last possible moment. Maybe the plan... Oh, the game just crashed. Well, the thing we were hoping would not happen did in fact happen. And the game crashed on lap 16. And this means Jacob Lopez is going to be your winner. We have results from lap 15, which didn't change that much from lap 16, except for the 62. Vinny Scholes is going to end up finishing top 10, despite coming in and pitting. But other than that, it's pretty much where they were running before. But this race has ended a few laps early. And Jacob Lopez is going to get his 6th LSCI win on a brilliant or perhaps lucky, it depends on who you want to, depends on what you want to call it, strategy call. Tim Berry is also going to benefit from this heavily, finishing second. Kevin DuPont is going to finish in third, and then it will be Corbin Taps fourth, Zach Dearman fifth, Peter Jansen will finish in sixth, Johnny Everhart seventh, Karina Willis Calloway eighth, Vinny Scholes ninth, and Jake Sidney will round out the top 10. And well, we unfortunately did not get to finish the race fully, but at least we actually have some results this time, and we don't have to restart it for a third time. But I'm not sure what's wrong with the track. I suspect it might be a new cam file that I installed not too long before the race that helped fix some of the funkiness in the cameras. If you remember last year, then the cameras were pretty funky there, but I'm suspecting that's the reason because I wasn't having any game crashing issues before then. But congrats to Jacob Lopez and Motor Racing Ventures. This is both parties' first wins of the season. Jacob Lopez now breaks the tie with Jack Gino. Gino tied it up just last week with the most wins in the series, and Lopez is now going to be back alone atop that wins list.
I was not expecting the 52 to emerge from the field when, but this goes to show you can't count out a winner when he's on his game, especially a crew chief who gambles and rolls the dice.
Yeah, I guess this would be similar to like when there's rain close to the track and the pit crew the crew chief keeps the driver out to try and catch the rain when it comes out. It's a similar situation here. Although instead of rain, it's the track breaking, but it's a similar concept there. And I guess the crew chiefs of the 50 and the 11 were aware that that was a possibility, so they tried to keep him out long enough to where they would be out front in the case that this event happened, because neither of them were running up towards the front in the race. They had to try something drastic, and it ended up paying off for them. But I'm a bit disappointed that race didn't get to finish. We were setting up for a pretty good finish at the end. We had a lot. We had a very interesting battle brewing between Kevin DuPont and Corbin Taps. But yeah, John, what did you think of this race?
It was a little bit of everything, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of strategy, but in the end, Jacob Lopez won, one of the best to ever do it in this series. If we got a good one despite it ending early.
This is the first LSCI race that has ever been shortened from its original distance due to factors outside of my control. So there's one for the record books. I mean, NR2003. It is an old game. It's old enough to drink. So sometimes you get stuff like this happening. I'm just lucky that it took till race 73 for it to happen. But yeah, Jacob Lopez will get the win here today. Maybe not the way that he wanted to win, but judging from the pace of the car, he probably wasn't going to win it the way he wanted to win it anyway. But yeah, that's a good run for him and the Motor Racing Ventures crew. I don't know, where were they in points? I don't think they were that high up. Lopez is he's 22nd in points, so this is going to help him out a ton. Tim Berry is going to be gaining quite a few points, so that's going to help him. He could potentially take second in the point standings as well. We know Tim Berry is definitely a threat to win, but it's your season 2 champion, Jacob Lopez, and now once again atop the all-time wins list. So congratulations to him. That's going to do it for today. Next race will be hopefully not marred by game crashes at Auto Club Speedway. I've never had any issues with that track, so we should be fine on that front. But that's the race that was the finale last year, even though that race didn't matter for the points because DuPont had already locked up the championship. But John, what are you expecting for that race at Auto Club?
Well, 4 wide drafting, lots of passing. Enough
Yeah,
said.
it's a very different type of track than COTA, that's for sure, and really pretty different from most of the tracks we've went to as well because of just how wide the track is. But that's going to be a fun race. Auto Club always puts on a good show, so I'm excited for that. And that will end our broadcast here today. Once again, congratulations to Jacob Lopez on the win. And on behalf of John Andrews, this is Brendan Wilmington of the Left Turn Network signing out. Here are your points after race number 5 of the season, which will appear on your screen right now.